Okay, so now it looks like I am live. So fantastic. That only took an extra 20 minutes, but it's my first time going live on Facebook, so it's not to be without some technical glitches. Anyway, so I'm glad we're up and running. Good evening. Let's just take a breath for a second and whew, I was doing okay until that happened, and then I kind of got a little riled up. But that's why we're here, to unwind from our day. I don't know about you, my day was a little rough. So I've been looking forward to this. So I'm glad we can come together and do a little bit of yoga to help unwind so we can sleep really, really well tonight. I will be practicing in bed as promised. If you are practicing on the floor on your mat, that is absolutely okay too. Just be where you feel comfortable. Whether you're in your pajamas or yoga clothes, on your bed or on the floor, it doesn't matter. It'll be about a 30-minute practice. So if you feel like you need to fall asleep before then, please, by all means, please do that. So let's get started. Let's come on to our hands and knees into a tabletop position. And let's begin by releasing some of the tension through our spine, moving through some flexion and extension in a cat-cow. So I'm initiating the movement at my hips and then moving up segment by segment and reversing in the same manner, linking movement and breath. And just be really gentle with yourself here, feeling into where it feels tight and then where it maybe starts to loosen up after a few rounds. Maybe one more, and we will come back to cat-cow in just a moment. I'm going to take us into a side bend. I'm going to go on a bit of an angle just so it's hopefully easier for you to see. So from your tabletop, slide one arm forward and then a little bit across, and then come down onto your other forearm. Keep your hips above your knees and let your forehead rest on your forearm. Keep that, the arm that's forward, keep the arm straight and the elbow lifted. And then gently press out through that same side armpit. So the arm that's out, we want to find length through the side body. So we're just doing a gentle side bend here. The hips stay over the knees. And pressing out through the armpit, the ribs, and the waist. And just breathe gently here. And then slowly come back up. And we'll do the same thing on the other side, sliding the arm forward and across, and coming down onto your other forearm, bringing the forehead down. And this time pressing out through the armpit, the ribs, and the waist of the arm that's forward. And breathe softly. And then come back up onto your hands and knees. And let's do a few more rounds of cat-cow. We're just a little bit more active here at the beginning to kind of help process out some of that pent-up, wound-up energy. I know I'm already starting to feel myself unwind a little bit. So as you move through your cat-cows, notice how it feels doing it the second time after doing the side bend. There might be a greater sense of ease, or your breath might feel different. And feel free to do this with your eyes closed. Maybe dimming the lights if you haven't already. 2 more. And then gently coming back to center. And then from here, why don't we come into a child's pose? So I like to bring my knees a little bit wider and keeping my hips back towards my heels. Now you can come into just a regular child's pose, maybe supporting your head on a block or on your hands or right onto the floor. Since I'm in bed, I'm going to take advantage of the pillows that are here. And so kind of like in a restorative class, you might use a bolster, and you can let the weight of your body sink down. If you're raised up on a pillow, turning your head to one side, just let your arms come to wherever they feel comfortable, either by your side or out in front. Just take a deep breath in through your nose and maybe let it go out your mouth. And then just gently begin to settle in to the natural rhythm of your breath. If you're using a support like a pillow, maybe you can feel the front of your ribs and your chest gently expanding into the pillow as you inhale. And softening and releasing as you exhale. Or maybe it feels nice to bring your attention to the breath flowing into the back of the body, maybe into the back of the ribs as you breathe in. And softening as you breathe out. And let your belly soften here too. Sometimes there can be a tendency to use our abdominals to draw ourselves further towards the floor. See if you can just let the belly just relax, soften right down. Maybe feeling the breath coming into the belly. I just noticed that my hands were really grippy, so just from my own experience, notice if your hands are gripping and let that soften. Maybe there's some tension in your face that you can bring your awareness to. Or maybe somewhere else. See if you can soften even just 1 or 2% more. And we'll stay here for 5 to 10 more breaths. Settling and softening. And it feels really good for you to stay in child's pose a little bit longer. Please feel free to stay there. Know that everything offered tonight is an invitation. And if you're like, oh, this is good and I'm going to stay in this position, please do that. Do what is the most nourishing and relaxing for you. If you're ready to move on, and it feels okay, come down onto your belly. I'm just going to go diagonal onto the bed so you can see. And keep my glasses off, I think, for this one. And then make a pillow with your hands so you can rest your forehead, or you can turn your head to the side. And we're just going to start to rock our bum side to side. I don't know how well you can see in the video. Just rocking my hips side to side. Breathing softly. Settling into a rhythmic movement. And it doesn't have to be big, it can be small. Just start to notice what feels the best for you. And if this is uncomfortable, you can just lie in stillness and breathe. This type of rhythmic movements is really, really nice way to kind of settle out some of the nervous energy or hyper energy in our nervous system. It helps us move closer, or not closer, but move away from the sympathetic nervous system response of fight or flight and move more into the parasympathetic, which is the rest and digest, which is where we want to be to enable sleep. So if you're okay doing this, we'll stay just a little bit longer. The beauty of yoga for before bed is you can maybe choose like 2 or 3 things that resonate with you and do them maybe a little bit longer than you maybe normally would during a daytime practice. Maybe lowering the intensity in which you do them and really focusing on the breath and creating as much softness and gentleness and ease. Really cultivating the qualities that we want to experience in our sleep. And we can maybe make that movement a little bit smaller. So it just feels very, just very perceptible. And then coming into complete stillness. Notice sensation throughout your body. Kind of feel a little bit of a tingle or a warmth kind of spreading down my limbs, down my legs, towards my feet. Feeling a little bit more relaxed now. And if you're still doing okay on your belly, slide. Let's start with whichever leg you want. I'm just lifting my thigh so my knee comes out to the side. And if you were to look back, the ankle is directly down from the knee, so it's kind of like a 90-degree angle. But if like just a little bit is okay too, so you don't have to bring it up really far. Everybody's range of motion is going to be different. And my pelvis is still neutral, like I haven't like lifted or turned or anything like that. So let me just do it one more time in case you're watching. Sliding the knee out to the side. I think maybe like in yin or something, this might be called like half frog or something like that. We won't be here for too long. Let's take a few breaths. Just getting a little bit of a release through our hip. Gentle breath. If at any point you notice that you're holding your breath or the breath is kind of speeding up, it could just be a sign that maybe you're just putting in a little bit more effort than what you need to at this time of night. And then we can slide that leg down and do the same thing on the other side, bending the knee out to the side. And breathing softly here. And then you can slide the legs down. I don't know about you guys, but I feel like I'm ready for bed already. But let's do a little bit more. So from here, let's come on to our back. And if the head kind of drops back really far, you can fold a blanket or a pillow under your head. And let's just bring our knees in towards the chest. You can hold on top of the knees or hold on to your wrist or interlace your fingers. Just hugging the knees in. And then if it feels good, maybe rocking from side to side and giving your low back a little bit of a massage. And again, the movement can be small or big. You can kind of play around and explore what feels the best for you. The bed might be really soft, so you can go kind of might be able to do a bit of a bigger movement and perhaps would feel comfortable on the floor. You really get to decide what's best for you. And that's one of the things that I really love about yoga. It's like we don't have to get so caught up in alignment and the right way or the perfect way of doing it. If you get really honest with yourself and just feel? Like, what are you actually experiencing? And does it feel good? Do you like it? Or does it not feel so great? Is it not, doing something good for you? And if we start basing kind of our judgment of our movement on what we're feeling and what we're experiencing, the outcomes are going to be a lot different than if you base it on what you think you should be doing or what an ideal shape or form is. So that's my 2 cents worth on that topic. All right. And coming into stillness, let's take a moment to check in with your breath. And then bring your hands so you're kind of clawing your kneecaps or cupping your kneecaps with your hands. And then use your arms to circle the legs in opposite direction. Let me just turn on the angle here. I don't know if this is any better for you guys. And then be really gentle with yourself here. Just feeling how the legs move in the hip sockets. So it's the hands, the arms that are creating the movement. The legs are more passive here. Let the toes and the ankles just stay completely relaxed. They don't need to be involved in the movement. And you can experiment. You can play. Does it feel good to do small little circles? Why does it feel more nourishing to do big circles? Again, there's no right or wrong. Just feel into what's serving you right now. What do you need? What do you want? And then we can switch direction. Play with different size circles or maybe different speeds. If you've had a really hectic, busy day and your energy is kind of like vibrating way up here, sometimes it takes us a little bit longer to dial our energy down, to start to slow down. So maybe a faster movement, it will be more of a benefit to you than, going slow. It can be really hard to expect ourselves to go from 100 to, 0 in a few minutes. That's not always a realistic expectation. So you just have to realize where you are at the moment and work from there. Beautiful. Let's take the knees in and give them a hug one more time. Beautiful. And bringing the feet down. So from here, I think I would like to take us into a twist. So I'm going to use a pillow again for extra support. You don't have to. So you can either, from here, just drop the legs over to one side, or you can bring the feet up and then let the rotation come a little bit more through the pelvis, but keeping the shoulders on the ground. And then make sure you're not kind of gripping or bracing through your upper back. If you are, you can kind of come back and maybe reset, try it again. So we want all our back muscles to be completely relaxed. You might feel a little bit of pull through your waist, the outside of your legs or your hips. And just be aware the legs can be supported if you have something to support them. And settle into your breath, feeling the air come in through the nostrils as you inhale, and the breath coming out through the nostrils as you exhale. Soft and gentle, without having to make the breaths a certain length. Just letting it come into its own natural rhythm. Sometimes it can be nourishing to bring one hand onto the belly and one hand onto the chest, or both hands onto the belly. So you can explore placing your hands in different spots and just see what feels the most comfortable for you. Right now, it feels best for me to have my arms wide, my palms facing up, so that's what I'm going to do. But that's not what you have to do. And if it If you sense that your mind is busy and it's kind of fluttering around to things from your day or what might be happening tomorrow, just be really gentle with yourself. Notice that it happens. And then when you catch it, just come back to your breath, noticing the breath coming in and the breath going out. That's all you have to do. And then if the mind wanders off again, just gently, compassionately notice, because that's what it does. And then just come back to the breath. It's like training a small puppy that doesn't like to listen. And let's stay here maybe 30 seconds to a minute. And then when you're ready, we'll slowly bring the legs back to center. And then we can set up on the other side. And so you might notice that each side feels slightly different. So the second side might need more or less support. So if you're not sure, just try a couple times to see what works for you. Finding a place where you can be, where the back doesn't feel like it's gripping or bracing. And the same for the shoulders and the arms. No extraneous tension. That might mean that you just need a little bit more support under your legs, or maybe you need to slide the legs out a little bit. So just play around and see where you can feel the most relaxed. And then once you find that place, return your focus to your breath without having to do anything to your breath. You're just watching it like you're watching a movie. In and out through the nose. And again, you can play with the arm position. Arms can be open, maybe giving yourself a hug. It can feel really supportive and nice. Maybe hands on the belly. Just play around. Coming back to the breath. Notice how as your body starts to settle, and the mind starts to quiet, the breath starts to change. Maybe there's a little bit more space between the thoughts. The body starts to feel a little bit softer. Maybe you've started to yawn. Don't suppress your yawns, just let them happen. I'll stay here for 5 to 10 more breaths. It's really gentle. Starting perhaps to feel a little bit more relaxed, a little bit calmer. Beautiful. And then when you're ready, slowly bringing the knees back to center. All right. And then you can roll to your side and come up to sitting. All right. So I want to share another practice that perhaps you haven't done in a regular yoga class before. And if you're wearing glasses, you might want to take your glasses off. And I'll do my best to be really clear with the explanation so you don't have to see. And this is another really nice practice to help calm the nervous system through the ventral. I'm not even going to get into the science of it. That would be a discussion for another time. So I'm going to use my index finger and middle finger on both hands. And I'm going to use the tips of my fingers or the pads of my fingers starting at my temples. And I'm just going to gently tap side to side. So you can tap kind of simultaneously or one and then the other. It doesn't matter. Whatever feels most comfortable for you. And then from the temples, coming up across the top of the eyebrows. And then up the middle of the forehead, tapping up to the hairline. And then you're going to follow that line, tapping back down to the top of the eyebrows. Bring it back across the ridge of the eyebrows. Tap, tap, tapping all the way back to the temples. And you can have your eyes opened or closed. And then we're going to come back across to the center of the eyebrows. And we're going to kind of come up on an angle across the forehead, right into the hairline. And then coming back down to the eyebrows. And then coming across the eyebrows and back to the temples. We're still tapping, tapping, tapping. Now we're going to start to come down under the eye, along the top of the cheekbone. Just gently tapping. And then you're going to come to your nose, tapping at the side of the nose. And then when you get to the bridge of your nose, just kind of give it a little smush, a little massage, a little rub. And then we're going to tap back along the cheekbones, the top of the cheekbones, just under the eyes, all the way back to the temples. And breathing softly through the nose. And from the temples, we're going to come down the side of the jaw to where your top gums are. So now we're coming across right across your lips. So you can kind of feel the pressure in your gums. And then when the fingers come together just under your nose, you can give the top lip a little smush, a little rub. And then we're going to tap back out, coming across right to the jaw, and then coming back up to the temple again. So just check that you're breathing softly through your nose. And then we're going to tap back down along the side of the jaw. And this time we're coming across underneath the bottom lip. And you give a little smush in the middle there, a little rub. And then tapping back across, following the jaw all the way back up to the temples. And then from the temples, this time we're going to go up, coming up around. We're going to come around the ear, but we're going to be on the skull. So we're tapping behind the ear, coming back underneath the ear. Kind of like we're just doing a little circle around the ear. And then we're going to use our thumb and our index finger, and we're going to just massage the ears. So you're giving the earlobes a little kind of pressing, squeezing, a little pull, working your way up, maybe unfolding the folds of your upper ears. And just give them a little rub. And then we're going to just tap back, going the other way around the ear and coming back to the temple. And then we're going to repeat the process again. So from the temples, coming up across the top of the eyebrows, up the center of the forehead, and coming back down across the eyebrows to the temples, coming back up and then going on an angle across the forehead into the hairline, coming back down to the temples. From the temples, we're coming across the cheekbones to the top of the nose, giving a little smush, and then back across, coming back up to the temples, and coming back down. This time we're coming underneath the nose, and then back out again, all the way back up to the temples, coming down, all the way down the jaw, and then coming across the bottom, underneath the bottom lip, a little smush, and then coming back across and up. And if this is something that feels really settling, feels really nice for you, you can do this as many times as you want. Then we're coming around the ear, against the side of the skull, And give the ears just one little rub one more time. And then let's just sit for a moment. If you're like, that is the best thing I've ever done in my life, please continue and keep doing it on your own. And just notice how you feel after doing that. Let's take a couple breaths. Beautiful. All right, let's move into alternate nostril breathing. I also always like to include a pranayama. And just for sake of ease, you can use your thumb to block your right nostril and your index finger to block the left. And we'll do 5 to 10 rounds together. So you can be sitting or standing or lying down. So if you want to lie down and prop your arm up on a pillow so you can kind of rest your arm, you can do it that way. So let's just start breathing softly. And then use your thumb to block the right nostril. Inhale through the left. Block the left. And exhale out the right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. Inhale. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale. Block right. Exhale. Inhale. Block the left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block. Exhale left. Inhale. Block. Exhale right. Inhale. Block. Exhale left. Inhale. Block. Exhale right. Inhale. Block. Exhale left. Last round. Inhale left. Block left. Exhale right. Inhale right. Block right. Exhale left. And then release. And we'll just rest quietly wherever you are. And noticing how you feel. And if you're ready to nod off to sleep, I would love it if you would do that. So let me just see how we're doing for time. Yeah. So we're at about the 30-minute mark just after that. So I'm going to wrap up our practice here. I hope you're feeling a little bit calmer, a little bit more relaxed. I know I certainly am. And I will be back here next Wednesday at 10 o'clock And we'll do a different practice. Some of the things might be similar, but I have a few more tricks up my sleeve that I would love to share with you. So I hope you will join me. Tell your friends and have a great evening. I hope you sleep well. Namaste.